Hi, I'm Rock Hedlund. I'm a lifetime member of the NCHA, Pacific Coast Cutting Horse Association. I've been a member of these two associations since 1978. I believe that with my leadership skills and the last 25 years that I have spent involved in the politics of the NCHA and the Pacific Coast, I am the right person to lead this association into the future. Thank you.
I'm Chase Lackey. I'm from North Carolina, and I've been an NCHA member for about 13 years. My background is in the construction industry, work all across the Southeast, all the way over to Texas, managing 200 plus employees with about 8 to 15 projects going on at any given time. My showing background is a little bit of everything. I've done the weekend, I've done the major limited age, I've hauled a few times. I'm an active, non-pro, and amateur competitor. I have horses showing in the open and limited open. I'm also a current North Carolina director, and I sit on the limited age committee. I'm Vice President of Area 18 Cutting Horse Association, help produce shows and host events within those shows. My family has been a longtime sponsor of the Mary Kingsbury Amateur Sportsmanship Award. And I'm running because I believe this moment matters. You know, protecting the progress we've made and ensuring we have a strong future. NCHA is a large, complex organization, and we need leadership in place that understands all the complexities that it takes to move us forward.
I believe the strongest thing I bring to this association is the fact that I've been involved in the politics of the NCHA for the last 25 years. I've served on the Stallion Foal Committee, I've served on the Grievance Committee, I've served on the Judges Rules Committee, and I've been on the Trainers Committee. And I did 6 years on the Executive Committee from Region 2. I believe all these things have helped qualify me to lead this association forward.
By far my business background. I believe that with my experience across the industry as well will be very applicable to NCHA, providing fiscal responsibility and understanding the delegation. And I'm a painter by trade when I first started out, and I really believe that I understand taking something from concept to reality, and I really believe that is applicable for NCHA because we do have to take ideas and put them into action.
I feel we need to reach out to our outlying areas, our grassroots cutters, our affiliates, our private show producers who produce shows outside of Texas and Oklahoma. The cutting in Texas and Oklahoma is really strong right now, but we get out to some of those outlying areas and those shows are struggling. I don't have the answers. I know I want to hear from you all as to what your problems are and your issues and the things that you're facing so that we can all come together and fix them for the whole entire membership.
You know, the weekend is so important to NCHA. It's really at the core of what we do. And I think we're unique because it doesn't take a lot of skills initially to get started. So we need to lean into that and show people that you can easily get started, get on a horse and go flag and start learning how to do this. And then, you know, I believe we need to focus on retention and learn why maybe some people might leave. We need to understand if that's a financial issue, or is it something maybe they had a bad experience or just didn't understand what was going on. And I think we also need to engage our membership. They are very important to be an ambassador for us at these shows. And when you really think about it, a lot of people that get into cutting get in because they have friends or family that do that. So empowering our membership is going to be very important to help bring in that new clientele. And if every group was bringing in one person, imagine what that does to our numbers overnight.
It's a very good question. I believe the Open is the pinnacle of our association. It is the top end of the horses and the riders. I believe it is doing well, and our association is growing, along with all the added money that we are able to put back into the Open event, so where it makes it the top end of our competition and level. The non-pro is where the non-professionals come together and they show. It needs to be protected, and I believe we need to come up with ideas as to how we can grow our non-pro. The entries in our non-pro have been down, and I want to hear from you all as to what you think we need to do to help grow our non-pro. In the amateur, our amateur is growing. We have the 3 different levels in our amateur classes, and it gives a place for everyone that is getting into this industry to come start. I think there's some things that we need to look at in our amateur. I think we need to reward the top end amateurs more. I believe that our entry-level amateurs, that is a very good class. It's a class where there are amateurs that are just getting started into our aged events can get started and grow and come up through the ranks. Our youth is where it all begins. We have to support our youth, and we have to stay very heavily invested in them, because that's how this association is going to grow and go forward into the future. The friends that these kids make when they're growing up, going to the youth cuttings and going to our high school rodeos, those are lifetime friends, and those are memories that they will carry on for the rest of their life. We have to cherish this, and we have to grow with these kids so that they can lead us into the future.
You know, NCHA is the best it's ever been, and currently our system is set up as 4 divisions: the Open, the non-pro, the amateur, and the youth. And I think financially that's done us very well. And if we're going to make changes to that structure, we need to vet them heavily. We need to understand the financial implications of what could happen. And I believe ultimately it's up to our membership. We're here to represent them, and it very much depends on what they want to where we move forward, as long as the data says we can get there.
I think our cutting at our aged events and our weekend shows in Texas and Oklahoma is very, very strong. And I've said this earlier, we need to reach out and support our grassroots cutters, our affiliates, and our private show producers that are struggling. In order for us to move forward, we have to grow our membership. We have to be aware of what our industry is doing. We need to become more user-friendly for beginner cutters to get involved with us at our shows. And this all comes from our grassroots, from our smaller cuttings where you go to the weekend cuttings and you show. We have changed our class structures to accommodate our membership as our sport grows and the cutters' levels of expertise grows. But we have to become more user-friendly and welcome in our new cutters that are just coming into this, so that they too can enjoy this great sport of cutting and the horse. You asked about the next 3 to 5 years. I believe we need to talk to our membership in these outlying areas. We need to hear their struggles and how things work and don't work for them. And then we need to sit down and look forward for 3 years and look forward for 5 years and start developing changes now so that we can keep growing and going forward. If we don't look at it now, in 3 or 5 years, it might be too late. Our membership's down. That is what we have to look at first, in my opinion.
You know, we have a very unique brand. I think it's the best equine sport on dirt, and we have the adrenaline that goes with it. We need to keep leaning into that and promoting our Western lifestyle. I mean, we're probably one of the only, if not the only, that truly is a Western lifestyle. I mean, they still do this today, and we want to continue to make sure we're showing potential members what we do and welcome them in. I really believe NCHA is going to keep growing into the marketing end of it and engaging social media, getting it out to new viewers and bringing them in. I can see NCHA having an app that could be great for new membership. I mean, maybe they watch a reel on Facebook, and then that leads them to the app that could potentially say, hey, we're within 30 miles, you have a horse show, and then we get them to the horse show, and then so on and so forth, and we engage those people once they get there. So I think NCHA is going to keep moving forward while honoring the traditions of everything we do.
That is an excellent question, and I don't have the answers for it. I wish I did, but I don't. I believe that we need to put together a 3-year, a 5-year, and a 10-year plan. NCHA is financially as strong as it's ever been in its history. And if we don't start preparing now for when things change, we won't be where we're at now. Nothing will keep going like it's going. Everything changes. We have to be aware and look forward so that we can make these changes, so that we can be ready when the storm comes, if it comes. Our rising cattle market and the cost of cattle is pretty much driving what we have to charge our cutters to come cut and enjoy this sport. We need to look at how we can make changes so that we can keep cutting going strong throughout the entire United States, not just in certain areas, but we need to grow our entire association. That's why I feel that we need to have a task force put together, and we need to look forward 3, 5, and 10 years.
Well, I think I do that on a daily basis now. I'm fortunate I have that exposure to business at a large scale, and you know, NCHA, it's more than just a show arena. It's a large, complex organization, and you need to have an understanding of fiscal responsibility and how that plays a role as issues may arise outside of our control. And I believe if you're keeping a close eye on the budget and you're making sure you're adhering to those things, as well as we need to be looking to figure out how we can insulate ourselves as well. Investments we can make that'll help us control cost as we move forward, and that will allow us a lot more freedom to continue to grow even in tough times.
I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I want to wish all the cutters in this association the best of luck as they go forward, wherever they go to compete. I believe that with the leadership skills that I have learned, and with all your input, you come see me, we will put things together. We will put them in place. I've been involved in politics, like I've said, for a long time. There's a right and a wrong way when we want to take on change, when we need to change rules, when we need to change bylaws, or we need to change policies. We have to do it the right way. It's got to go through the proper committees. It's got to be presented in the right way. And there has to be a tremendous amount of research done so that we know how those changes are going to affect our industry going forward. It's easy to make a snap decision. It's hard to look where we're going to be 3 to 5 years down the road once that rule gets fully implemented. Those are the things we have to look for. When we make rule changes, there's no reason why we can't implement it and then go back and revisit it in a year or two later if we need to make changes with it. We have to make changes so that our whole association can grow as we all are growing. Our industry has evolved. We have to make changes to evolve with it. I believe that with your help, I can lead us into this future. Therefore, I would appreciate your vote. I would love to be your next Vice President of the NCHA. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to this, and I encourage everyone to get out and vote. And make sure you do your research and understand how we've represented you in the past and how we'll represent you in the future. And let's protect the progress we made, and I would love to have everyone's vote.